It's called cyberseek.org. And at cyberseek.org, you can very much do your own tour of information. Of course, I've planned some information to share with you. I want to point out to you the way I have used that tool and what I've learned from it. It is what I would call, right now, in the States, a good national support for anyone investigating the industry, if you'll let me use that word. That doesn't mean there aren't other ways, of course. Of course there are. There are associations to draw on. There are professional organizations to join and attend conferences of. There are certainly the old-fashioned networking to go get your job. I always like to point out the Granovetter research, but we're not going to go down those extra roads today. But think about all the other ways that we go job hunting, job seeking, and job information seeking. So from a cyberseek.org, I think of this as a national support. And when I go to their website, I am almost immediately welcomed with maps to choose from. And just from a national map of the U.S., they're using some very nice, colorful heat maps and showing me where the job openings are, state by state, if you will. By following those kind of color codings and in the legends, I can see which states have more openings. It doesn't really tell me the whole story yet, but I'm certainly able to get a sense of which region of the country I need to be looking at. Now, I'll go ahead and throw in one extra aspect of job hunting. In cybersecurity, information security, information assurance, and just plain old technology roles, maybe geography is not so important anymore. So that's another aspect of investigating the industry. Do you really need to know what region it is because you have to travel to it? Or do you simply want to know what region it is because that's where the hiring offices are? So that's an interesting thing to think about as well. Certainly, as this field has taught us, you can live anywhere, work anywhere, and still be powerfully connected. A national map like CyberSeek's doesn't tell the whole story, of course. Luckily, on this website, there are drill down maps. And that means drilling down to metropolitan areas, seeing where you might find a talent gap. And this is where we get to supply and demand. So if you were to compare a national map showing an entire state, one particular shade of blue, but then you actually go to a metropolitan area map, you might see hotspots within that state, where that's really where the concentration of the employers are. There's also a means of looking at those maps to be able to say something else besides just job openings. So as an example, some of the things that are listed are the supply of workers, the supply-demand ratio, and something called location quotient. So looking at the metropolitan areas may give a better view of what's really available to go apply for.